He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly. He might have to release the Epstein files to distract us from this now. Damn!
In what must have been one of his most highly rated shows, Jimmy Kimmel was back on the air, and the man who pushed for its suspension, as to be expected, threw his toys firmly out of the pram in protest. You know, for someone who claims that Kimmel is no longer relevant, Trump seems to care an awful lot about what he has to say and the fact that he's allowed to say it.
Huge, absolutely huge. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look at YouTube views, Jimmy Kimmel Live video views. The 6-month median, the median video only gets 240,000. Look how many views Tuesday night's monologue already has. 6.7 million. That's over 25 times as large as the median Jimmy Kimmel video normally gets. And I was looking, it is by far the largest video in at least 6 months. So if Donald Trump's idea was to give Jimmy Kimmel more press and more viewership, he absolutely did so. Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Now, Kimmel's return monologue was part Thanksgiving, part defense, and poignant in its indictment of the current administration. He said he didn't intend to, quote, make light of Charlie Kirk's death while affirming his right to critique public discourse, and also warned that using regulatory pressure to silence comedians is downright anti-American.
He's gunning for our journalists too. He's suing them. He's bullying them. Over the weekend, his foxy friend Pete Hegseth announced a new policy that requires journalists with Pentagon press credentials to sign a pledge promising not to report information that hasn't been explicitly authorized for release. That includes unclassified information. They want to pick and choose what the news is. I know that's not as interesting as muzzling a comedian, but it's so important to have a free press, and it is nuts that we aren't paying more attention to it. Walter Cronkite must be spinning in his grave right now.
But a number of affiliates.
But that does sound like pressure from the government, right? But there's pressure. It may not be successful pressure, but it's pressure from the government.
I guess you can say maybe some, but
a sentiment echoed by other prominent voices like former President Barack Obama recently.
Obviously, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I was generally aware of some of his ideas. I think those ideas were wrong, but that doesn't negate the fact that what happened was a tragedy and that I mourn for him and his family. He's a young man with 2 small children and a wife who obviously, and a huge number of friends and supporters who cared about him. And so we have to extend grace to people during their period of mourning and shock. We can also, at the same time, say that I disagree with the idea that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake. That's not me politicizing the issue. It's making an observation.
If anyone was wondering whether Kimmel would scale back or maybe dim his approach when reprimanding this administration, it wasn't to be the case, since the ketchup-lathered White House walls in response.
Speech, it ain't free no more.
What? It's not free no more?
Yeah, we're charging by the word now.
You're charging by the word? How much are you charging?
It depends on what you want to say. Like, you want to say something nice about the president's beautiful, thick, yellow hair, or how he can do his makeup better than any broad. That's free.
Okay. All right. That seems reasonable.
But if you want to do a joke like he's so fat he needs 2 seats on the Epstein jet, that's going to cost.
Trump swiftly criticized ABC's decision to reinstate Kimmel, claiming the network, quote, sided with Democrat propaganda and went into coercion territory.
Congressman, can I just read you something? This is what the President of the United States says. And you tell me whether you think this sounds like coercion or not. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can say this is the pressure from the government, because ABC put him back on. I didn't stay up and watch it, but I think he was back on last night. So how is that the government's taking him off the air when in fact the ABC themselves, Disney, made the decision? Oh, we got two of people we do business with, Nexstar and Sinclair.
Right. I'm saying, but
a number of affiliates.
But that does sound like pressure from the government, right? But there's pressure. But it may not be successful pressure, but it's pressure from the government.
I guess you can say maybe some, but I don't think that's what drove this. I think this was a business decision.
What do you make of what your peers like? What do you think of like what Ted Cruz said about this? He said government shouldn't be in this business of trying to pressure anybody about free speech at all.
No, fair enough. And look, I think we should be defending your right to speak, the most important right we have under the First Amendment. I always say, if you can't speak, you can't practice your faith, you can't share your faith, you can't petition your government, you don't have a free press. So the right to speak is so important. I do believe what Mr. Carr is pointing out is that public broadcast airwaves are slightly different than what the Democrats tried to do, which was on platforms, which is on cable television.
Rest assured, the man was ranting about this while meeting with the most powerful leaders in the world at the UN to discuss ending, say, the genocide in Gaza, or how to deal with Russian aggression across Europe. This is what he was focused on. Makes sense considering he got on that same stage in front of the world and talked about his poll numbers, or should I say lied about them.
The American public agrees with it. I mean, I was very proud to see this morning I have the highest poll numbers I've ever had. Part of it is because of what we've done on the border. I guess the other part is what we've done in the economy. Joe Biden's policies empowered murderous gangs, human smugglers, child traffickers, drug cartels, and prisoners from all over the world.
Trump threatened to, quote, test ABC financially and referenced a prior $16 million settlement with the network. And somehow it's not front page of every outlet. I mean, if this isn't corruption in plain sight, I don't know what is. Beyond Kimmel, Trump has amplified his attacks on other late night hosts.
Said at one point, Phil, that he basically believes broadcasters and that regulators should consider taking broadcasters' licenses away if they have late night hosts on their programs who criticize him. Listen to what he told reporters just a few moments ago.
When you have a network, then you have evening shows, and all they do is hit Trump. That's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something, somebody said. But when you go back and take a look, all they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that.
But Kimmel's return wasn't just a reinstatement, right? It was the public pushing back against censorship. And in doing so, the people forced a reversal by using the power of their wallets. As I keep saying, where you spend your money matters.
Hulu is so desperate to keep people from canceling that they are offering a discount when you go to cancel.
So many people have been canceling their Hulu and Disney Plus subscription that the site is literally crashing.
As a parent, do you know how excited I am to never have to give Disney another dime of my money? Like, go to the FCC, ABC.
We will not be silenced. We will not be intimidated. And we will not stop fighting until we defeat fascism in this country.
And Trump's response, his threats, the blame, retribution, it all underscores that his tactics were increasingly transactional. Media compliance in exchange for favor or immunity. That compliance was tested, and it failed in this instance, but doesn't mean that it will again. That Sinclair caved to Trump's will shows that there are wins and losses, but it also shows the power of a practical response to such authoritarian measures.
A lot of people have been asking me if there are conditions for my return to the air, and there is one. Disney has asked me to read the following statement, and I agreed to do it. Here we go. To reactivate your Disney Plus and Hulu account, open the Disney Plus app on your smart TV or TV connected device. I've been fortunate to work at a company that has
a move that, is indicative of how Americans feel about this administration across the country. Hence the steady decline in Trump's approval. According to a recent Fox News national survey, his overall job approval is 46%, but only 39% approve of his handling of the economy. More than half of voters say that the economy has worsened under his watch, which when confronted with, he just blamed the person conducting the polls because, of course, he did.
When do you think that people are going to feel that? Because we do see polling that doesn't poll well in the economy. The recent Fox polling said 52% say the economy is worse under this administration. You've got unemployment at the highest rate in 4 years. Groceries made a big jump in the last term. So how is that? You're looking forward with these plans that you just talked about. When will people feel that, Mr.
Well,
Trump?
when the factories start opening. I mean, right now we're building them. And, Fox polling, I have to tell you, I've told you before, it's the worst polling I've ever had. It's always, during the election, they had me winning by a little bit, not by a massive amount. And Fox polling, I've told Rupert Murdoch, go get yourself a new pollster because he stinks. And this is for years now.
So when you combine a reinstatement forced by popular outcry across the country with his collapsing numbers, even among friendly media environments like Fox that are calling it out, the signal is loud. Control is fraying.
And I am a tiny part of the Disney Corporation. They welcomed me back on the air, and I thank them for that. That unfortunately, and I think unjustly, this puts them at risk. The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
So Kimmel's return, whether he's your cup of tea or not, was a needed victory in the fight for free speech. And Trump's reaction is telling. He seeks control more than anything, and when he feels it slipping, he lashes out.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.